welcome everyone to this webinar about the new Trimble TCU5 controller. My name is Robert Young. I work as product manager for TCU5, but I'm also product manager for the S-series total stations. My background is I'm a surveyor in the background, so I have been out surveying for 10 years, and then I actually have been on Trimble for 30 years. So I have been here for a very long time. And I'm based in Sweden, that you might hear on my accent. So that is where I'm sitting. And for you that don't know, we are having our developments of new products here, and we also have production of the whole S-series instrument here in Danderyd in Sweden. So before I continue, it will be a chance for you to key in questions if you have it. So we will take all of them in the end, and I will try to answer as much as I can. The only thing I don't have is pricing, so don't type that in. You have to talk to your local dealer about that. So let's see here. Stuck. Here it comes. So yeah, we are very, very pleased to introduce a new controller to the Trimble S-series family, the TCU5. Maybe you have already experienced the TCU3, so you know a little bit about the concept of the TCU and how it works. But we are really pleased that we now have a new TCU coming here that will have a big changes from the current version. As we have been asked the last years actually to support latest version of Trimble Access has been one of the largest requests that we have, because that was released 2018. So the current version of TCU3 was stopped on 2017's version of Trimble Access, and many people see the nice benefits of the new Trimble Access. And of course that comes combined with that you need a larger screen to be able to work this, to support that one. So we have done what we could to really make it large and nice for everyone. So now you can experience your freedom of total control. So yeah, the first big thing, of course, with deal is that we now support the latest Trimble Access. You get the much more modern version of it, and the whole TCU is also Android based. So we get a refresh of operating system in the background as well, for you that knows how it works. Latest version of Trimble Access, you have a lot of benefits on that one. It's a more modern way of working. As I will show you on the next screen a little bit, that we have split screen when you do your topo work or set out points and so on. And you can see on the photo here that you can display more on each screens. That makes you much more efficient. You don't have to open a new page every time, so you have a better overview of this. So, and Trimble Access has made a lot of improvements in the latest version, that they have the more enhanced favorite support, target selections has been improved, file handling for new projects, job managements, and file structure is even more logic than before, I would say. And it's also one easy way to share your data and synchronize it with the cloud services. And also help files are much more better, that you can bring it out in the field and get answers straight away there. Intuitive. Trimble Access has always been intuitive for me, but now with this latest version, it will be even more intuitive and really user-friendly. Map-centric means that you can work more efficient with your maps in the field, the things that we couldn't offer on the previous TCU, like 3D maps, if you have tried that you can rotate around, you can better view your data, and also it offers much more colors actually in these versions. And for other things like CAD toolbars and snap to menus is also there in the 3D maps for to get it more map, and map centric also can mean that you can have the map on the whole screen and not use the split screen that you will see more. The streamlined workflows will be that, yeah, the split screen that I talked to, because that is the one I really like. When you're out surveying, you can see what you do, see the map growing when you have your data inputs on the other side. It's coming on the next slide how it works. So it's way better. And then we also have the sync manager that I talked about a little bit, that we now also can do easier file transfer from and back to the field. Like if you have a surveying crew that's already out there and needs some more points to set out, you can send it out easily to them with the Trimble sync manager. And also you can, when they are done in the field, they can easily transfer it back, so you in the office can start to look at it immediately. So that's something really recommended if you haven't tried it. It's very easy now. It's Wi-Fi. It works with Wi-Fi, so I typically use it with my mobile phone. Just connect the Wi-Fi to the TCU5, and then you can do this sync of your data in the field from and back. And of course, to get the Trimble Access to work, we couldn't have the small screen that we had in the past. So it was a really major thing to maximize the screen area that we have available, as we still want it to be a fairly small unit that is handy and fit in your instrument case and so on. And here you can see your split screen there. You can see the measure topo form on one side and the map on the other side, so you can see when your points start to come out there. And if you have a vision instrument, you can see your camera view there. It's also very useful to see where your points end up. Many use it to see if you key in the wrong target height, so you know that the lines end up in the right correct height and so on. So it's like a quality control as well that you can do. But split screen, it's a little bit everywhere in Trimble Access, like stake out and measure codes and everywhere. And you can work even more powerful with the map, as I said before. You can maximize the map and you will see more. So you can have it cover your whole screen, and this 3D map that I talked about. And also we're handling DXF files better in this version, so it will be improvements even there. The integrated gesture support is what we call, like you do with your mobile phone, how you use your fingers to zoom and pan. Is very intuitive. It's as it works like most other touch screens. So with the two finger you can pan around, with the one single you can swipe or turn it around, and you can use both fingers to zoom in and out. And of course, display more on each screens. That will provide you more context, and you will be much more efficient in the field, as you don't have to open and close and select what you want to do for everything you want to do. So that is what we had some beta testers on this. They also found out that the display is, of course, the big leap to the old TCU, because it's also combined, of course, with the Trimble Access, that you now can see more and do more. So really like that screen. And from the TCU that we have, there's actually a lot of things that you maybe don't think about, how nice and it actually is to have one control unit that is really dedicated, more integrated to the instrument than other control units are. So the whole system only requires one battery to keep track of. So you only have to worry about charging up these batteries. That ones provide power to your instrument, or if you do robotic work, it will have this same battery in the robotic holder. So it's pure one battery that you need to be aware of and charge up. And everything fits into your case. You can have your instrument, of course, and additional batteries, Prism, TCU5 itself, and some other small tools there. But that is the only thing you have to carry it out. You don't have to have anything else to get out the control unit. And really the best thing is ready to work out of the box. You don't need to do anything. It's no pairing. It will automatically start it up and work directly with the instrument. And with the TCU attached to the instrument, you have your hands free, so you can operate your instrument actually in a more easier way, I would say, and having something in your other hand. So it's very convenient to use. The portability is that you can easily then bring up your TCU to your office. If you don't use the cloud service to transfer your data, you can just bring your TCU and load it with data or unload it with data. And then we have it via a docking station, as it is called, to the PC. So it goes via USB straight into your computer. And that is also what our other beta tester said, that they still like that we have it exactly like the previous TCU, because they really like that workflows. So the ecosystem for the TCU5 is that we support the current S series instrument, S5, S7, S9, and the S9 HP models, and they exist in autolock and robotic versions. With or without the radio antenna is the most obvious thing that. So we will not support our older instrument like S6, S8, and that is actually depending on that the electronics and boards underneath there are too old to be able to run all of that. Even if it will fit on this instrument, you will not be able to start them up in any way. And the operation modes, of course, onboard instrument is the most common one because most people buy it and don't have so much of robotic work. So onboard is really the most common one, but we have many people that want to unclip it and put it into a robotic holder and continue the work out by the pole instead. And then we had a robotic holder, and people that maybe you can see that we call it Model 2 now. It's an enhanced version. I will come back to that one. And the same with the desktop, with the docking station is also called Model 2. Come back to both of these two. And the ecosystem, of course, Trimble Access, we have already talked how important it is that we have a nice field software, but also the Trimble Business Center also support this one, so you can just drag and drop your file straight into the map area there. I did a little bit quick comparison, how the performance of the TCU5 compared to TCU3. I haven't compared it with the control units because they are larger and have even more capacity, of course. This is the one you can see. Yeah, the larger screen we talked about, the Trimble Access version is the latest one we can have. And of course, it will have more memories and storage than the previous one because it's a new developed one. I tried to just import a lot of points just to as it's easier to do the timing if I select many points. I don't say that 35,000 points is a practical number of points, but it works. So import that in the empty job, it's 2 times faster, and actually 5 times faster if you open up that job another day. Hardware overview. As I said, we did what we could to make it large screen as possible. This is a 5-inch multi-touch display, and it's a screen protector as well that is already mounted for you. And yeah, we need a power key, so the green one is to start it up. And then for an Android, we need the 300 read keys. So for you that are familiar with them, you know what they do. In other cases, you will fairly soon learn what these keys are doing. It's really the standard things from the Android. We kept the spider key, as we call it. It's as it's popular and it works great. So more or less the same as we had. And we made a large enter key. And we say measure and store. For you that are familiar with Trimble Access, know that that is what is executed in the right lower corner. It's say if you enter date or if you measure if it's store. So it's one key depending on the status in Trimble Access, but it's located easy for you to press and store it. There is a speaker and also a parking place for a stylus there up when you don't use it. The power key, to reduce the number of keys, we have just one power key, but we have a lot of options underneath there. So you do a long press on the power key to do other things. Of course, you can power it off, but that basically will happen if you do a short press as well. You also have something called suspend. It put the controller in a waiting status to be able to be moved to like between an instrument to a robotic holder. That's it, the typically one, and you don't really want the operating system to reboot every time. So you have 10 to 15 seconds to move between these two units, and same if you're going back. Trimble Access will start that up automatically. If there's an icon say start robotic, then you don't have to use the power key, but in other case. If it's still on the same power source, a short press on the power key will be suspend because it still have power. So, but you can't unclip it at that time, then it would be a restart. And there is a restart if anything hangs up. It's always something anyone needs. Seldom used. I haven't nearly used it at all. And then to be able to handle the touch screens, there are also different modes there. We have one called generic mode that offer the best performance for in any conditions with the stylus or fingers or gloves. A little bit of rain. The wet is the problem. When it starts to get too much rain, you probably would like to select another mode. So then we have wet stylus or wet finger or glove. So either of these are really unique and you have to select them accordingly. The other one is that many people do is to clean the screen and still just go back to generic mode if it's a little bit raining. And then you can do a touch reset if it's for some reason also doesn't respond, but it's also very, very seldom. In Trimble Access, we support following applications. They have many different applications, as you're probably aware of. General survey is the most common one. There you do all of your stakeout and normal works. Then the more advanced modules for roads, tunnels, mines, and monitoring is also available for TCU5 to work with. The TCU kit, standard kit, you get a bunch of accessories with it, not only the TCU5 itself, of course. and the glass screen protector is mounted, you get the stylus is needed, but we also include a docking station, the Model 2 of it. And for a docking station, we need a power supply, of course, and with all different type of plugs. And then the USB cable to the PC. There is also a USB stick cable that is actually only used when we have it on robotic holder. And I'm coming back to that one, how it looks like when it's used. And there are some documentations on it, quick start guides, warranty card, declaration of conformity, and we also promote our geospatial accessory card. We have worth to look on our homepage and find all the accessories. We try to put up everything that we have there, so it should be easier to find also Prism and other things around the system. So the updated robotic holder that we call Model 2 is very, very identical physically to the current model. And again, in this case, it was the boards underneath that wasn't good enough to be able to support the TCU5. So we needed some boards updates on it. And actually, this is really required to have it. You can't use your old robotic holder if you have it. So there is a sticker saying TCU5 compatible on around one of these connectors. And service can upgrade it. If you have existing robotic holder, they can do this upgrade for you. And with the upgrade, we support, of course, the old TCU as well. So this will be the only one that we will have. A slightly different story on the docking station Model 2, as this has nothing to do with the boards. This is just the regulatory requirements that frequently are changing around the world. So this one is the latest up to date with that requirements, and it's included with every TCU5. But if you have an old one, they are actually still working. It should work in the same way, so you can still actually use them as well. And then you can see how it's used when you connect it to your PC. You get on your right-hand side your projects, and then you can just drag them and drop straight into Trimble Business Center. So you don't. This one is more plug and play. We don't really need this Windows Mobile Device Center that was required on the previous version. If you have data on a USB stick, this is like the third way to transfer your data. If someone is coming with the USB stick and say, hey, I want to set out these points, there are two ways to get them in. If it's on the TCU is attached on an instrument, then there is a USB connector on the faceplate on it. So this doesn't go into the TCU. If anyone see it on the photo, it's a faceplate behind that TCU. It's on the instrument. There you just plug it in, and then it will show up there in the file structure. This device. Or if you're out with the robotic holder, you have to put this USB stick cable into the COM port on the robotic holder, and then it will also show up your data there. There was another control unit released earlier this year called TCU6, and you maybe have seen it on our homepage, and people have asked, oh, this would be nice to have to the instrument, as the size is fairly similar. So it's they have maximized the screen even more on it. So we have made a mechanical mounting bracket that you can put on to the S series, and then you snap this TCU6 to it. But it won't get any power and anything from the instruments. It lives its own life, I would say. So battery-wise, you will never get any power from it. So you need to be sure that you have power there and power in the instrument. So it connects via Bluetooth between there, even if it's very, very close, short distance. And if you're going to do robotic operation, we have a radio called TDL 2.4, as you can see there in the middle there. And that one you have to attach to the rod and use that 2.4 between the instrument, and then you have the Bluetooth between the TDC and that external radio. I just wanted to highlight it because we have got some questions on this one. So this one is a little bit more to which one to select, which one do you prefer. TCU5, of course, will always be the most dedicated controller for the S-series. It's the one that is most integrated with the S-series and the ecosystem. So if that is more or less the workflow you're always only running, then this will be the perfect solution. So it's what we call like an optical specific controller. TCU600 is a little bit more versatile, as it can do a little bit of both what we talked about, but it also handles GNSS and it's also handheld. This one can be power off when you can walk around and have a look in your data. With TCU5, it always needs power from the instrument or the docking station or the robotic holder. And then, of course, there is a bunch of other control units. TC3 or TC7 is for you that if you want even larger displays to maximize your Trimble access workflows, or if you also would like more keys, the full keyboards and so on, then this is the control unit to go for. And as I said, we have other as well control units around these areas. To summarize this up, as you remember, the smart and convenient one battery system for the TCU5, and works out of the box, everything in the box, support latest Trimble access, and now with the larger screen and everything. So these are really a lot of nice new features. So thanks everyone. Let's see if I can see any questions or if I need help from Sophie that is on the line. Oh, I don't see questions.
Robert, I'm here.
Yeah, good. Do you see any questions?
I see them. We have quite a number. I can either send them to you or you can, I'll read them, whatever you'd like me to do.
Yeah, we start to read and see where we end.
Okay. So can the new TCU5 be used with the RTS573? Will it support Trimble Field Link?
Not right now. Maybe they will work on it. I'm actually not sure exactly what they will do with the Field Link, but it would be possible. But I think the software-wise, no one have worked on it. So I mean, it will not work today.
Okay. Next question is it possible to connect to the total station via long-range Wi-Fi or long-range Bluetooth instead of using a radio to work robotically?
Yeah, I would say you will probably just run into a lot of other issues and problems. I don't really want to say that is a good way to do it. It's a lot of things that needs to work together. I mean, we don't have long-range Wi-Fi or Bluetooth on it, so I mean, you need external devices to get it to run, and if it doesn't work, it will be problems. I can't really see how you get everything into the instrument in a nice way. We don't really have anything there to offer.
Okay. Is it able to support Play Store download?
No, actually. We don't have the complete Play Store because we have a customized version of the Android system, so it will not be in the Play Store. But that doesn't really say that you can't install other apps. You are free to download and install them by yourself into the TCU5. So that's that you can do if you do, but we can't do it directly from the TCU5. So, but it works. You can drag it in. We anyhow don't really recommend to do it from many other reasons. It's like cybersecurity and so on. We don't really know exactly what all of these apps are doing, and also for memories and capacities. But yes, if you have any favorite apps, you download it yourself and transfer it over, and then you can use it.
Next question is, can you use the old TCU docking station?
Yes, and yeah, as I said, it's only for compliance regulatory reasons, but it's still working, and it will work. So if it still works for you there, then it won't be a problem.
Does the TCU5 have a usable inside battery?
No, we only have this really small. It's not really called battery either. It's what it's called. Yeah, but it keeps the power for 10 to 15 seconds. You can't power it up without having it connected to an instrument or robotic cooler or office day.
Does the new TCU5 have a built-in GPS?
I don't think we have any GPS inside, what I know.
Do you plan to improve the robotic holder to a new, more rugged version?
Yeah, if we get a request on that, we haven't really planned, so that's nothing that will happen in the nearest year, I would say. So that's things that we need to get feedback on, like now, to consider if we need to improve it.
What is the maximum support size for the USB stick instrument USB output?
The size of the memories, we are, as always, it's hard to come with the latest, biggest memories. I don't think we actually have set where the top limit is actually, but we know that the latest memories is more issues with communication wise, so it's safer to have a USB 2.0s and not having maybe even largest memories.
I came a bit late. Maybe you already said it, but does this work with a 5600, so 56,000 series
No,
total station?
we don't support the older 5600, or I also have got the question on the Delta or the 3600 version, the mechanical one that also have this clip-on. We can't support that either. It's way too old, the boards and other things in there.
TDL 2.4 Bluetooth support distance up to?
I mean, you typically the Bluetooth between there, I don't know. I mean, you're supposed to have that radio on the pole as the same as you put your controller on, and then it will be the normal range for the 2.4 gigahertz radio, and that is, we always say that it works longer than our longest application is for robotic work, and that's 800 meters. So it goes further away than 800 meter, but I don't have the where it ends because we don't see that as critical.
Will this be open to the SCS 900?
Yeah, again, something that they haven't worked at all to implement this Android version. That is the big thing. Trimble Access had made a great job to just convert their current Windows version into an Android version, and that is nothing that you just drag some files in, it works. That's a huge work, I can say. So until they have an Android version, it will not happen, and I don't really know the time schedule of what they are planning.
So we have two questions around the TDC600. When can I use the S-series with the TDC600? And today's TDC600 is the latest Trimble Access version, and the S-series cannot be connected to this. So can I use it with the TDC600 and the S-series?
Yeah, it should work. I have worked without any problem, so that one we probably need to have a separate conversation around if you have issues with it, what it could be. I would suggest, because TDC600 is out, so I would contact dealer or our support organization to get the answer if it doesn't work. For me, it should work.
What operating system is on the TCU?
As I said, it's an Android that is customized for us. It's called 7.1.1. If it says you anything, for me, it doesn't say so much.
When using TCU5 for real-time monitoring, it replaced the need. Sorry, I have to repeat that. When using TCU5 for real-time monitoring, it replaces the need for sorry. I say using the TCU5 for real-time monitoring, it replaces the need to use set-top or octa-hub.
Okay.
Sorry about that one.
Yeah, I'm not so familiar with all of these set-top. I know, I mean, Trimble Access has also a monitoring version, if that is the question. I can't really telling which ones is the dedicated best one to use, because I think they are both a little bit the different ones doing similar things, but I don't really know in details.
What is the range of the TCU if using robotically?
Yeah, as I said, you go up to what our longest range is, 800 meters for our targets, a normal robotic range. So that and around.
What style of battery does the robotic holder use for power?
It used the same as the S-series instrument, so it's that one that was on the photo there. That is exactly the same battery that you use everywhere in that system.
Can you operate the R10 GPS receiver with the TCU5 controller?
No, we don't support right now the GNSS, so we are limited to have it as an optical only system. Of course, this is something we understand that it could be a request for, but I can't say anything more around it. But we don't support R10 or 12 or 8s or any of these.
In case I use the TDC600 with Bluetooth, does it turn automatically to the points in stakeout or measure rounds?
That was really detailed. I think it should, if Trimble Access. I think there is a settings there. You say that you want it to turn. I think it actually will do it with any type of servo-driven instruments. So my guess would be that yes, it should work, but I can't promise. But that would be my best guess that it should work.
TCU5, no, sorry, will SiteWorks run on TCU5?
Yeah, it's about the same question as before. I don't know really if they have an Android version and when. So right now, no. The only one running on this one right now is Trimble Access.
Is the TCU5 with Access compatible with SPS series?
Not sure about that. If it actually supports that straight off. I would say I don't really know.
And then we have back to the set top. Set top is a device to keep the total station running when Trimble 4D control is not connected.
Yeah.
And he says, my suggestion is that the set top functions would be inside Trimble Access. So we have a whole area for the monitoring.trimble.com where I think monitoring.trimble.com, yes. That I think is the best way for you to go to there and have a look what they have in their portfolio.
But we can, of course, also forward these questions to our monitoring people, so they are aware of this, because I think this is probably a very good thing to do. So I will take the questions and send it to our monitoring.
That was it. That was the, oh no, sorry, 2 more questions just came in. In case I use the TDC600 with Bluetooth, does it automatically do points in stake or measure rounds? I asked it because the T7 turns only if I connect it with cable, not via air.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like to be something to be tested. I thought it was going to do it, but I will have to check it up actually.
And I think we already had the very last question was, does TCU5 run an app store, for example, Google Play Store?
Yeah, as I said, yeah, we don't have that installed, but you can transfer apps that you want by yourself.
Okay, so that was it. That was all the questions.
Good, many good questions, I would say. So thanks everyone then for joining this webinar.
Yes, thank you very much, Robert, for presenting. And if anybody has any more questions on geospatial.trimble.com, we have everything around the TCU5 there and the S series on that on our page. So thank you very much.
It's recommended. Everything is loaded there, and you can get full manuals, and everything should be there ready for you to go.
So thank you, and have a great evening or great day ahead of you. Bye-bye.